Okay, so I hope you have learned the sternum. Now we will come towards another point, which are ribs. Ribs are forming the lateral part of the thoracic cage. Okay, we can classify the ribs into many categories. First category, we can classify the ribs into true ribs, false rib, and the floating rib. If I will show you the thoracic cage, can you see that the upper ribs, rib number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, they are articulating with the sternum by their individual costal cartilages. So the ribs which are attached to the sternum individually by their own costal cartilage, they are called as true ribs. These are called as true ribs. Okay, then the ribs which are connected with one another by their cartilages, see here, eighth rib, 8th, 9th, and 10th, they are connected with one another by their costal cartilages, and they will be connected to the 7th costal cartilage and then attached to the sternum. That is, they are not attaching to the sternum individually, they are attaching to the sternum at one point. They are called as false rib. 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th rib. 8th, 9th, and 10th only, they are called as false rib. Then 11th rib, can you see here, this is 11th rib and this is the 12th rib. These ribs are not attached anteriorly to the sternum. They are called as floating ribs because they are floating. They do not have any anterior attachment. They are only attached posteriorly to the vertebral column. They do have small costal cartilages, but these costal cartilages are merged in the abdominal musculature. I will repeat again, there is one classification that we will classify it with the anterior attachment to the sternum. Number 1 is true rib. Okay, true ribs are actually the vertebrosternal ribs. Why they are called as vertebrosternal ribs? Because they will be attached posteriorly to the vertebra and anteriorly to the sternum. Okay, they are called as vertebrosternal. Then the 8th rib, 9th rib, and the 10th rib, they are false rib. They are also called as vertebrochondral ribs because they are attached posteriorly to the vertebra and anteriorly to their costal cartilages. Okay, so they are called as vertebrochondral ribs. Then the third one is called as floating ribs because they are attached only with the vertebra, so they will be called as vertebral ribs only. So vertebrosternal, vertebrochondral, and vertebral ribs only, which are called as floating ribs. This is one classification. Now there is another classification also in which we classify the ribs into two categories, which are typical ribs and the atypical ribs. Typical ribs means they have same features. Rib number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, they are typical ribs. They are same. Okay, but there are some ribs which are atypical. They have special characteristic. First rib, second, 10th, 11th, and 12th are atypical rib. This is the most important question which is asked in Viva, that how you classify the ribs. What are true ribs? What are false ribs? What are floating ribs? What are typical? And what are atypical ribs? So I have told you these are the rib. Rib word, actually it comes from a Latin word cost or costa, which means rib. Okay, which means rib. In these ribs you have to learn the level of 10th rib also, because sometime in MCQ they ask the level of 10th rib. So it lies at the level of third lumbar vertebra. Remember this thing, this will lie at the level of third lumbar vertebra. Okay, now I will tell you the features of the rib. See here, this is a diagram of a typical rib. It is actually the fifth rib, but in exam, if in Viva, if the ribs are present in front of you and somebody asks you that tell me the number of ribs or the name of the rib, what you have to tell that if it has all the features of typical rib, you do not need to tell that this is third rib or fourth or fifth or sixth. Only tell that this is atypical rib. Okay, but if first rib is present, you have to mention first rib. If second rib is present, you have to tell that this is second rib or first, or this is 10th rib or 11th rib or 12th rib, because the ribs which are atypical will have special features. Okay, they will have special features. Now I will tell you some of the features of the typical rib first. See here, this is anterior end, okay, and this is posterior end of the rib. Why this is anterior and this is posterior? How will you learn? See here, the anterior end is concave only. This is concave and it will be giving attachment to the costal cartilage because it will be attached to the sternum. This is concave part. Then the posterior part will have many tubercles. See here, the head will have facets, there will be neck, there will be tubercle which is present. So this is posterior end having the head, neck and the tubercle. This is called as shaft. Okay, the shaft of a typical rib is convex outward, will have the outer surface. This is the outer surface and it will have the inner surface also. Okay, then it will have two borders. See here, the upper border will be smooth and round and the lower border will be very thin and sharp. This is inferior border. Can you see a costal groove on the inside of the inner surface, or the lower part of the inner surface, or it is near the inferior border? Can you see this groove? This is called as costal groove. This is very, very important. In exam, they will ask you what are the structures which are present in the costal groove, or what are the contents of the costal groove. So you have to learn intercostal vessels and nerves. There is the mnemonic which you have to learn, which is VAN, V-A-N. V means for V, this is vein, then artery, then nerve. Which vein? Intercostal vein. Which artery? Intercostal artery. And which nerve? Intercostal nerve. So this is very, very important. Here there is intercostal artery, intercostal vein and intercostal nerves which are present. So what we have learned, again I will repeat, this is anterior end, this is posterior end having the head, neck and the tubercle. This is shaft. Shaft is having two surfaces, outer surface, inner surface. Shaft will have two borders, superior border and inferior border, and the shaft will have on the inner surface, see here, there is a costal groove. And what is important? The location of the costal groove. Where costal groove is present? Costal groove is present on the inner surface near the inferior border. This is very, very important location. I will tell you afterward that what is the importance, but what you have to learn, this costal groove is present on the inner surface and near the inferior border. This is costal groove. Okay, now see here the head facets. Can you see here demi facets? This demi is a French word. Demi means half. Why this is called as demi facet? Because this facet will give articulation to half of the vertebra, or this is half of the rib is connected to the vertebra. So what will be the word? Demi facet, that is half a facet. So there are two demi facets here on the head. What you have to learn, that the facet which is below, see here, this facet will articulate with the numerically corresponding vertebra. What is corresponding vertebra? For example, if this is fifth rib, so this lower facet will articulate with the fifth thoracic vertebral body, and the facet above, it will articulate with the body which is above, which is next higher vertebra, that is T4 here. For example, if this is fifth rib, so it will articulate this facet, the lower facet will articulate with T5 and the upper facet will articulate with T4. Then this is the constricted part, which is neck. Okay, then there will be a tubercle here. This tubercle will have a non-articular part and the articular part also. This articular part of the tubercle, see here, what points I am telling you are very, very important. Okay, so learn each and every point, okay, from the book also, from my presentation also. Okay, so this articular part of the tubercle of the rib articulate with the transverse process of the vertebra of corresponding vertebra. For example, if this is fifth rib, so this tubercle of the rib will articulate with the transverse process of fifth thoracic vertebra. This is very, very important. Okay, tubercle comes from T and transverse process also comes from T. So you can remember that TT, tubercle, will articulate with the transverse process. Okay, now 5 centimeters lateral to the tubercle, there is one angle. This is the twist of the shaft. Okay, this twisting is also very important in typical ribs. This is called as angle. This is called as angle. Okay, and you can see the costal groove on the inside of the angle also. Now there is another angle which is about 2 inches from the anterior end. This is anterior end and we will go behind, 2 inches behind to the anterior end. Here there will be another ridge which is called as anterior angle. What is the importance of that ridge? That this ridge will separate two muscles. External oblique muscle is attached anteriorly and serratus anterior muscle is attached posteriorly. Okay, again I will repeat, 2 inches from the anterior end there will be one ridge. This ridge will separate two muscles. What are those two muscles? External oblique muscle and serratus anterior muscle. Okay, when we will do the muscles, we will read three muscles: external oblique, internal there will be there are three muscles of the thorax also: external intercostal muscles, internal intercostal muscles, and intercostalis intimae muscle. Those, out of those three muscles, two muscles are also attached here. Okay, but we will go in detail in muscle attachment. We will go in those muscles. Okay, I am not telling you the muscle attachment here for all those muscles here. Okay, only what you have to learn, a ridge is present here which will separate two muscles: external oblique outside and serratus anterior inside of the ridge. Okay, so these were the features of the typical rib. They are very, very important. Please learn all these features. Okay, please learn all these features. Now I will tell you, or I will show you another diagram in which you can repeat or you can revise all those features. See here, this is anterior end. It is concave. It is attached with the costal cartilage. Okay, it will be attached to the costal cartilage, and then costal cartilage will be attached to the sternum. Behind, posteriorly, can you see, this is head, then there is the constricted part which is called as neck of the rib, then there will be tubercle. If you see the head is articulating with two vertebrae by two demifacets. The above demifacet is articulating with the above vertebra and the lower demifacet is articulating with the corresponding vertebra. Then the tubercle of the rib is articulating with the transverse process of the numerically corresponding vertebra. That is, tubercle of fifth rib is articulating with the transverse process of fifth thoracic vertebra. Then this is angle, on which the shaft is twisted. This is outer surface of the fifth rib. This is upper border. This is lower border. Okay, and inside, in which they have, in this section they have shown that inside there will be costal groove. Okay, so these are the features of the typical rib. Okay, I will make another video for the rest of the part of the lecture. Okay, so stay with me. Assalamu alaikum.